Guys, I was thinking again. I just finished recording workouts for Pilates Barbell Club. This month is all about energy. And I recorded some videos out here in my bikini. And then I'm like sitting in the jacuzzi thinking about, what's going on in my life right now? How has my thoughts and my feelings manifested the most recently? And what can I learn from those experiences? What can I learn from me right now viewing the recent interactions that I've had with people? And I had a conversation with someone, and she was like so lively and so energetic and so happy. And I'm like, wow, like this is really crazy. Like, you're so ambitious, you've done really well for yourself, you're so happy, and this is a high achiever. This is someone who's like making a lot of money, working in big business, and just like thriving on every level that we could possibly imagine. And she was like, I was like, I'm like really into like shadow work and, and healing and all these types of things. And so I said, what is different about you? Like, why do you think that you are so happy? Like, how are you so successful? And she was like, well, yeah, like I've had bad things happen to me. There was things that happened in my childhood that happened, but I don't know. I just kind of felt like if I just did my schoolwork and played my sports and did well for myself in school, it really didn't matter. And I thought that was such an interesting observation for someone to reflect on. Number one, to reflect on it and realize that you did have a thought process as a young child, and then to be able to experience something in 3D in your physical world, but not identify with it. And I think that's the key to these core wounds and why some of us have pain either in our physical body, in our relationship with our physical body, which would kind of be like the relationship with ourselves, and then also the relationship with other people, and then how we exchange money, so that we can stay alive and have a house and stuff like that. So what I'm thinking is that it's all about the field. So everything is in this huge energetic field, the holograph, darkness of divine feminine, right? So there's like the yin and yang, right? Light and dark. So within that whole entire place is a field where everything is the same thing as the field. That's what quantum physics is. And quantum physicists even hypothesize that every single thing is a single electron in superposition. That means that they think everything that we are and what we're experiencing is one single subatomic part everywhere at the same place at the same time. And from the huge anti-material universe compared to our material universe, it's just all that. And so everything that's in the field and that we can't physically access with our senses, everything that's in the field there is where we reside also. So our field is anchored with our chakra system. We have chakras above and below to infinity, and a lot of us just relate to the 7 that we reference in the body. So our energetic field gets anchored into this density of the entire universe. And when we are anchored into this density, meaning 3D, the physical universe, when we're in that density, when we interact with another field, with another person's field, with another person's energy of their thoughts and feelings, and we interact with that on the child level, and they are projecting their own self-hate into the field because they might be dealing with another adult that's in the room with you, or what you're watching on TV. Anytime that you interact with another energetic system of thoughts and feelings as a child, and you don't have the intuition that you are your own person in your own field, what happens is, how I understand it, is that information you allow into your field, into your chakra system, to send signals within the tools within of your brain and your heart. And you identify with that field that your body just entered into by being near a person, by watching a cartoon or a movie, stuff like that, because we're talking about the child level, right? So if we have these core wounds that when we really do our self-forgiveness work first, Then we forgive the people who have harmed us. Then we forgive the entire system because we find out that really the only sin is that we believed we were separate from God. When we're in that continual process of staying in alignment with God, that means that when we look back at our childhood and our core wounds, we discover that the only thing that happened was we didn't stay in our connection to source energy. And we allowed what was in the field of the world tell us who we are. And that's like a biblical thing too, right, Clarence? Clarence is here. So when I think about people who are wildly successful in every 3D experience, their relationships, their work, their money, their family, their expression of themselves, the health that they have in their body, when I think about people like that, when I have these conversations with them, because I'm so inquisitive, because I keep pulling stuff up for myself, and I want to know, like, how do you love yourself so much that you're so successful on all these levels? So I ask a lot of questions, and they will say that they just never saw any of those experiences or any of those mean things that people did as about them. So what that meant on this energetic level is that their inner child, their will of God, their presentation as a human, as their own unique extension of source energy experiencing itself, knew that that is what is the reality. And I think for people like me, or people that, are in my circle who have been doing the shadow work, we've either perceived those identities, the world, as who we are, and sabotaged ourselves and inflicted self-harm, and then also projecting like out into your existence. Your outer world reflects the inner world. So I was just thinking that, because I think that, like, when it comes down to it, the more you practice the forgiveness work for yourself and for the perpetrator, and then the idea that the only sin was that you believed you were separate from God, when you like get down to that level and then you look back at the core wounds and you're like, I don't think it was really a core wound. I don't really feel wounded anymore. I just feel like it was this thing that I misinterpreted. But now that I know that I can connect my mind to the mind of God, and now that I know I can connect my heart to the heart of God, and now that I know I can listen to my body as the feeling vessel that God gave me to understand what is going on here, now that I know all of that, now there's really no more perpetrators. And that, in that place of awareness, I think is what builds success in the people's lives who were not negatively affected by what happened in their childhood. So I was just thinking about that, because I think that's the goal, is to stay so in tuned with your center and your connection to source energy, and keep remembering that you are connected, so that anything that you see that's scary as fuck, like I said last week, I was like, well, I guess we were preparing for war now. And my mom was like, don't say that. And I was like, are you serious? We're gonna have war. Like, it's inevitable. So everything is crashing, because this, 2020 has given us a chance to slow down and not have so much time trying to keep up with the Joneses. So we've been able, some of us have really been able to sink into inner work. And when we're doing the inner work and we realize on this huge cosmic scale, this is kind of how it always was. And the only reason why it's so heightened right now, and so many areas of our civilization are combusting, finance, crypto, government, everything is combusting right now. Like farmlands are being like chopped down in the Midwest. Like everything is falling apart. And I think the reason why it's falling apart from that energetic standpoint is that we've been slowly as a society and as a species being able to talk about our feelings. And I think we went through like a pretty heavy duty blame period where like, that's the problem, that's the problem, that's the problem. And then now I think as a lot of us have been isolated from our regular life, we've had the chance to look at ourselves and see how we've been flawed. And if you've watched what's happened on the news, and you've allowed your body to have the negative emotion reaction, blame, shame, guilt, anger, sadness, pride, if you allow your body to feel that and allow memories to come to your mind, that's going to be you getting to know yourself even more and keep removing all the things that aren't true to you. because then when you're in your truth, you're going to attract people who are in their truth and complementary to yours. And so you won't have so many guesses of like, is this the right thing to do? Is that the right thing to do? Because you're so in tune. It's like you feel the little nuances in your body of a yes or a no. So that's what I was thinking about. I'm gonna go lay out again. Bye.